and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are going to look again at the Sale-A-Bration free stamp set that you can get with a £45 order from the 3rd of January. And I absolutely love this stamp set, and today we are going to use the seagulls and we're going to create a lovely scene. So let me tell you what we need. We need a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this is going to be a strip that will measure 5 3/4 by 1 7/8. Then we need a piece of Sahara sand, which is going to be the little mat, which is going to measure 5 7/8 by 2 inches. And then we need a piece of Pool Party, which is going to measure 5 7/8 by 3.5, and then that's going to go on to a standard card base. So we are going to take the piece of Whisper White to start off with, and we're using By the Bay, and we are going to use the lovely little seagull image. So let's get ourselves a block for this to go onto. Which will go on to this one, which is our C block. So we're going to line that up on the C block like that, and then we are going to use a good black ink, and we are going to stamp this image across on the center of our strip, and then we are going to line it up and put another one on, and then we're going to line it up and we're going to put another one on. So we've got 3 of the seagull images running across the cardstock. Now you'll see that they don't completely link up together, but that's absolutely fine, because the way we're going to watercolour this, it will give that continuous image going right the way across. So let me just put this back into its case, and we are then going to use our aqua painter. Now the aqua painter, as I said before, comes in a pack of 2, and we're going to use the finer tipped one today, and I'm just going to squeeze it just a little bit so I can get some water coming through, so that my nib is going to be nice and wet. And the 2 colours we're going to use are So Saffron and Pool Party. So the Pool Party, we need to make sure that we've got a little bit of colour down in the well, and we are going to pick up this colour, and we are going to, I'm turning it sideways so it's easier to see, and we are just going to colour through. Again, if you have your aqua painter fairly wet, you can colour it through quite easily. We're going across where the legs of the bird are, and we're just going to take that through fairly loosely, and then down on the bottom in a line through, picking up the colour as we go. I like Pool Party because it's a nice nice pale pastel-y colour, and really does mimic the those sort of subtle sea tones that we're looking for. So just colouring that through. I do need to get just a little bit more ink in the well. You can use your re-inker, and I probably should have got my re-inker out, but I haven't at the moment, so I can get just a little bit in on here. And then, as I say, we're going to carry this along and just colour it through. So where the little legs are, we want that through, and just taking the colour. I'm just using our thick Whisper White. You can use watercolour paper if you want. You can use our shimmer paper. But to be quite honest, because we're only just doing a very light wash and the paper is not going to get saturated, you don't really need to use that. You can use our standard or our thick Whisper White, which is what I'm using here. Now what I want to do is just get my line going through here where the horizon is going to start. So I'm just taking that through onto those edges like this, and then, as I say, just bringing it down just with a few little strokes on there. So that's our blue done for the water. And then I thought for the sky it would be quite nice to have it as a nice sunny day, so we're going to use So Saffron. And you can see I've just recently re-inked this one, so it's fairly juicy. So I just need to get the colour off of this. As I say, you can use a cloth. I tend to just use my fingers when I'm using pale colours, because I don't mind getting ink and stuff on here. So now we're going to do the sky. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it from the top, because as I say, as long as your colour is fairly what I call loose. Loose means that you've got enough water on there that you can literally just stroke it straight the way across the top, and you're not going to get too much colour. And as long as you move your aqua painter fairly quickly, you can get that down, and then we just gently bring it down to where that horizon is. And again, because it's watercolouring, it doesn't have to be overly accurate and precise. You want it round the birds, but again, you don't have to take it so that it's exactly on each bit. As I say, as long as your aqua painter has enough water in it, you can run it through quite loosely, and then that will give us that lovely sort of sunny day with the seagulls in the sea, which, as I say, I think is a lovely image. Now that we're in the throes of winter with all the bad weather coming on, it's something to look forward to, nice sunny days down by the beach. Okay, now there's one colour that we do need as well, which is the smoky slate. And the smoky slate, we're just going to give the details to the seagulls. So let's just get a little bit of the smoky slate, and we are just going to do the bottom of the seagulls. And I need to have that fairly dry, because the smoky slate is quite a pale colour, but it gives just that nice little tone on the bottom of the birds, which is what we're looking for. So I'm not doing the birds' heads, because seagulls tend to have white heads, so I'm just going to do the bottom. And as I say, I am doing this a little bit quicker than I would do, because obviously for the video I tend to speed things up a bit. You can spend a lot more time doing this, but again, we're just literally just washing some colour over the bottom of the birds to give that that watercolour look. The nice thing about the stamp is that it gives you all the detail that you need. So all we're doing is just adding just a little bit of a wash of colour, and that will make it just stand out beautifully. So we're just going along and doing this. Now, you could always do a sunset at the top. You can do so much. If any of you remember, we had a lovely stamp set which I absolutely adored, which was called Wetlands, and it had a group of little birds that you could put across. they were literally, there was no sort of colouring involved in that one, whereas this one, you have that beautiful detail. So that's what we're going to do for our image. And let me just bring this up a little bit closer for you so you can see. So you can see now that we've got this lovely watercoloured image with the birds on there, and it runs the way across. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take the other, the seashell, and we're going to do a little bit of background stamping. So we need the pool party. So let's just put this on. Now, will it fit on a small block? Yes, it will. So I'm going to put this on our little A block on here. And we're going to get the pool party out again. And we're going to take the pool party piece. And let me just give this a squeeze again to get a little bit of... no, I don't need colour on there like that, do I? No, we're going to do it this way. So we're going to ink this up. And then we are going to, let's make sure I've got it the right way up. We are just going to do a line across the top. The seashell is quite a subtle image, and if we're doing tone on tone, which is what we're doing here, it just gives a little bit of a background interest, and it gives those sort of waves. So we're just going to do a line at the top and a line at the bottom, because the rest is not going to show because it's going to be in on the card. So just working your way along. Again, it doesn't have to be overly accurate or even. We're just stamping it right the way along the edge like that. So that gives us that little bit of definition. Okay, so now all we have to do is to put this together. So we've got our So Saffron piece, and we've got the panels. So let's just put some wet glue across here like this. Take it into the corners and run it down. As you know, wet glue is my preferred medium because of the wiggle room. You can use snail, you can use any glue that you want. I find this is great, particularly when I'm on videos as well, because it's not always easy with my lights to be able to see exactly, to be able to line it up as well as you can. And you do have that little tiny bit of wiggle room to try and get it in as accurately as you can. Then we are going to put this panel piece across on here. Now, you can put it up with dimensionals, but I'm just going to do it all with wet glue. I think having 3 layers of card is enough dimension for me. But as I say, you can put some extra dimension on if you want. So we're going to put this on here like that, and then that's going to go, obviously it goes from one edge to the other, and take that into the centre. Try and get it as straight as you can and put that down, and then we are going to mount it straight onto our card base, which I'm not going to do that bit now, but just take it in onto the card base. And I have stamped from this stamp set, you've got 3 different sentiments. Thinking of you, may all your paths lead to happiness, and thank you. Now, may all your paths lead to happiness will go with the cottage by the sea, but thinking of you or thank you. And with it being after Christmas time and Christmas time, we will have lots of thank you cards to send. So I'm going to put, I just stamped and just cut out the thank you, and I'm just going to put the little thank you down there at the bottom like that. So there you have a lovely watercoloured card, very simple to achieve, but looks very pretty. So I'm going to just hold this up just for a second for you so you can see it a little bit closer. But I think it makes a very beautiful, pretty card to send to anybody. So thank you so much for watching me, and do look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.